I think I was talking the entire time and it was not recording, unfortunately. All right, let's have a go at this again, because I was recording all this sort of thing about 10 minutes and it was not recording. So I just wanted to tell you like what I do in the mornings in the cottage before I begin my painting or my writing on my manuscripts. So I basically just put the kettle on. Now I've got kettle on, it's a hot plate, and I have these cute little trivets that I keep, you know, that makes it look a bit more charming. But because I don't like to use the stove, you know, the old stove, because it's, you know, I'm in Florida, so it gets a bit hot in here, and the cottage is only 400 square foot, so it's very tiny, and it would heat it up quite a bit. Pardon me. And I don't want it to be that hot in here. It's already hot in outside, so no. Let's I can do all of my cooking on my little hot plate, and about getting another hot, like a double hot plate. I really would like to have gas, but my mom and dad transitioned from gas, like when this was my grandmother's house, and they transitioned everything over to electric, which I think was a big no-no, but you know, it's their house, they can do what they want, can't they? But anyway, because I wish we had gas, you know, because gas is to me much better, although this is what we're working with at the moment, okay? Because we've got two outlets in the entire cottage for electric. So I use the things that I can right there, and it works perfectly wonderful. I've cooked supper out here and things for Jeffrey and I, and it works rather well. And then below here I've got my modern things, you know, because Jeffrey Sean loves his Keurig and his coffee maker, but I'm always doing the tea, so I'll prep the tea, and then I set my little thing here, my little brown Betty. Obviously this is a really small serving, and today's choice of tea is the Jubilee, Fortnum & Mason, which I really love. But if you want a more inexpensive tea that is really a fabulous tea, and you live in the States, it's called now they used to sell it at Walmart, but they do not sell it anywhere. They don't sell it at Publix, they don't sell it at Winn-Dixie, they don't sell it at Sprouts, they don't sell it anywhere. I can't find it, so I've just been having to go online and get it. But this is one of my favorites in the autumnal, season. So it's called Hot Cinnamon Sunset, and it is scrumptious. And so I really love that one, and they have all sorts of them, and every one, I've not tried one that has not been absolutely delicious. And I also order the Fortnum & Mason online, so I have here we go. I've got my antique, my little Victorian tea box, and I keep that full of my tea bags, because when I'm drinking so much tea normally during the day, and I'm the only one drinking it, so a lot of times I will I'll just use Fortnum & Mason tea bags. But that's a lovely tea. But if you're having like tea with friends and you want more than one or whatnot, that's a really good one. And so obviously, because of Staffordshire, and that's where Jeffrey's ancestors and all are from, and where the brown Betty is actually manufactured, and it's been there for hundreds of years, So I set that up, and then another thing that I do, usually I have my little porridge, in the mornings for breakfast, and but I always order from England the brown sugar cubes, and I love those much more. I love those much more than I like the white sugar. But if you have a problem with allergies, or say for example you're in your menopause or premenopausal and you have sweats, right? So the reason that women have sweats predominantly is because they have too much sugar in their diet. So that's why you'll have night sweats and hot flashes. That's what they call them, hot flash. So perhaps take your white sugar out of your diet and use honey if you need to. It's a lovely way to reduce those. Also, I also carry a blend that I make. It's for women in menopause, that helps with all of the depression and the crying and that sort of thing, and it's called Take Peace. And it has loads of clary sage in it, because clary sage is really good for women that are struggling with menopausal, okay? So that's another thing that you might want to look into if you're interested. I sell those on my Etsy shop. If you ever pop over there, you can find those if you like. And so yeah, I'll prepare my tea. Today, I'm not going to work on my book. I am going to work on my other dress, my Zoe Kennedy's. I'm going to work on Zoe Kennedy's, the dress that I'm wearing for Zoe Kennedy's wedding. And last night I put a new lacing in my corset, which is really lovely. No, I don't have my corset on right now. Because I'm working on my because I had to prepare my chemise. It's a bit tattered, and although I hand sew my clothing, I've got a sewing machine, and oftentimes I will sew on the machine, especially if it's sort of like someone else wants me to do something for them or something, and I don't feel like taking the time to do it hand. But when you do things by hand, you don't have to repair your clothing and your garments as much as you do when it's made by a machine, because the stitching is so much more, it's more authentic for one thing, and the other thing is it's so much better than the machine, you know, because you're waxing your thread every single time you're putting stitches in, and your stitches are quite smaller than when you're doing it on the machine. So I have to repair my chemise, and I'm never going to do it on the machine again. Like, I was just trying that one out, but I ended up wearing it. Like, I wear it all the time. Like, I wear it all the time. So I wear it under my clothing, I wear it under my corset, but I also wear it to bed, like as a night shirt. You know, I'm always buzzing around in the garden. Like, people probably think they've seen a ghost or something, because I'm always around in my white chemise when I'm feeding the kittens or whatever, you know. It's funny, you know, when there's fog around, and I think that would look weird if someone saw me. I mean, unless it's not weird, I guess a lot of people, maybe there's a lot of people that run around in their chemise. I don't know. I don't think there's many people that wear chemises, to be quite frank. But anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? So I am going to put in, like, there's this little shop that I love, this little sweet lady in England that makes these, and I have several of them for different sizes and everything. The little teapot cozy, and I think this is so charming. I just really love them. This one fits my brown Betty quite lovely. I'll show you when I put it back on. Look at that. She's so charming, and she's very autumnal. Isn't she autumnal? And today I'm using once again my Chinsegut Hill tea cups that I had. I'm gonna put. I had the teacups. I designed them from Chinsegut Hill, for Chinsegut Hill, and we're going to have those at the Victorian Mischief night. So this is another thing that I do after I take my little strainer off. This is a little Victorian one, and it has the little cup with it. Isn't that so charming and cute? And I take these little plates. Have you ever seen these little plates? And I've got loads of them. Look, I just started collecting them, okay? This is what we're going to have at the tea room, okay? And for a Mischief night for in October at Chinsegut Hill. So we'll have our specific cups that they were all made in England, and I had them shipped over. Oh, they were quite a penny, but you know what? Well worth it. So I take these little plates. Do you see, darlings? Look. And you might want to use this idea. So, you know, you pick those up. They're really tiny, and so a lot of people will put them on, hang them on the wall, because they usually have like a bit of a hole in the top where you can put little wire or something. But look at these, how sweet and charming. Mermaid, the Denmark mermaids, and things of that nature, okay? So what I do, I shared this, I think, on the Instagram, is I take this and I set it on my tea. And when you put it, let me show you something. Let me show you something, love. So when you put it on your teacup, then you can put your scone or whatever, and it's heating your scone or your cookie or your biscuit, and it's also helping the tea to steep really, really nicely in there. And then my other thing, that's another little tip that I got for you. Here, another little tip. So you know these little collectible spoons that you usually see them on the wall. People collect them for places that they've went and stuff. But I use them. So at the tea room, we'll use these for everyone to have their own little stirring spoon. And I think they're rather clever because they're tiny and they're precious. And obviously, another thing, if you want to hear this cute idea, you probably could care less, but I'm going to tell you what it is because I want you to know about the Chinsegut Hill. I want you to know about the Chinsegut Hill adventures that we're going to have and all of the retreats and the small social gatherings and all. But at the tea room, when everyone receives their invoice for their purchases, you know, when they've had their tea, I put their, you know how like normally I put their receipts in their book, and so that's how they receive their invoice. So whatever it is, they'll slip that in there, and then they put it in there, and then they hand me the book. Because I'm a writer, darling, because I'm a writer. So I thought that would be really sweet, and the books that I'm using are Elizabeth Robin's books. So those are the ones that we'll be using for the Victorian Mischief night, okay? Now, obviously, no, this is when we have the tea room and we're charging for the plates and all of that sort of thing. But normally, my tea room that I will be having one day, this is why I'm having all of these events and everything, is because in order to be able to create a community, right, of lovely women that enjoy spirituality and enjoy all the natures of like Victorian history and communing together and becoming really lovely friends and uniting, you know, as lovely women. And you do not have to be, this is one of the things that is very different than other communities, is that you do not need to be religious. You're more than welcome to be religious, but normally, you know, I wanted a place where people weren't religious, that we are spiritual beings, and I don't want religion to be a focus of it. So this is why I've created the Cottage settlement, but also Stillwater, a petticoat society, and that's where our retreats will come in and our social gatherings and all of our fun events and everything. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about because I thought you might enjoy it. So yeah, this is for the invoices when I'll have my own tea room for the Cottage settlement, you know, when you take the orders and you give the invoices. So let me put those back. And so what I'll do is I'll get my little tray, and I'll go and take it over to my little table over here. This is kind of like my little sitting area and my kitchen as well, because like I said, the cottage is very, very tiny and small, but it's cozy, like a little chipmunk's nest. So I hope that entertained you a bit, and that you've got a view of what I do in the mornings when I first arise in the cottage. And so today, like I said, I'm working on Zoe Kennedy's dress. So that is going to be a bit of hand sewing. Therefore, I'll probably put like Lock Rise to Candleford on my phone, and I'll put it with my earbuds, and then I'll just stitch away, and I have the most enjoyable, lovely day. But I have my kerosene lamps, and I've got my lovely bits, and I made some scones the other day. I made some strawberry shortcake scones, and so I'll have some of those with my tea as I stitch away. So that's not very fun to watch, just me stitching away. But that's what I'll be doing today. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I really did want to come to you and talk to you about a bit about telling you all about a Victorian Mischief night at Chinsegut Hill. So if you're in these parts and you're in Brooksville or you're around Brooksville, put the link in the description box below if you would like to buy tickets. Now, we only have a certain amount of tickets, so therefore you might want to get your tickets quick, because I've already sold several tickets and we've got, I think, 15 or 17 left. So if you and one of your friends, you know, your girlfriends, it's an event for women, and all the stuff is in the description if you want to read that in the description box. So when you go to purchase the ticket, it'll tell you, you know, the attire that we're having, that you wear, and all the things that we're going to do. Some of the things that we're doing, that I'm doing, are going to be surprises for you. And it's going to be, now if you know me, you know I love Halloween, All Hallows Eve. And it's going to be the most loveliest evening ever. I'm telling you, when I know how to put on a party or a grand event, I'm your gal. And it's sponsored by the Cottage settlement, obviously, but we're having it at Chinsegut Hill. So that is the mainstay of where the money for the tickets come in, is that it's not cheap, okay, darlings, to have an event. Furthermore, it is supporting my nonprofit. So everything is based on donations, receiving gift in kind, and that sort of thing. That's how I'm doing this. This is how I'm able to create and be able to eventually purchase the land and the facility and the Victorian home and all of that for the Cottage settlement. And so where it will be, and all of that stuff is also on my blog too, so I'll put a link of that in the description box below as well. So I thought this would give you a little bit of a tidbit, and you can come into my world, you know, my little mermaid world, and that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'm most affably yours until my next swim. Cheers, darlings. Toodle pip.